Now that we've done all things related to vectors, it makes sense to see its connection with other subjects, in particular physics. You can pause this video and read about how the different definitions in physics relate to vectors, and we will do them more in the context of certain questions. So there are 4 examples in this video. However, I'll only go through 2 examples. This example, and each one has a worked solution also. This example I will not go through because there is a vector approach to it and there's a more geometric approach to it. I'll do the initial setup of the question, but again, the solutions can be seen here. It is approached through a vector and a non-vector method. I'll go through example 3 and then example 4. It's part of the chapter's opening problem and it requires prior knowledge in physics. So it's not impossible to do. However, if it was given to you in an exam setup, you would have been given more information about how to solve it. So again, I'm not going to go through example 4 because it's more of a longer extended type question, but you can see the solutions here, and it relies on a diagram that's already studied in physics. So we'll start with example 1, and from here I'll build up some important definitions that we will use to help us convert between worded problems and the and vectors, so make the connections between them. So you can pause, read the question, try it out, and then you'll see the solutions as I'm working them out, or the solutions on this slide if you pause it right now. So if I want the position when they first start, that's another way of saying the initial position. So we're looking for part A, we're looking when t is 0 and when s is 0. So both of these are time, and they are using different letters for the equation for R and the equation for P because they represent different boats. So they will have different timings. So when T is 0, so you literally directly substitute 0, you will get that R will be in the position of -1, 10. And you can write it as a coordinate, and P will be at 0, 4. And then it says find the distance between them. So that's just the Pythagoras distance, subtract. So you'll end up doing the square root of 1 squared, 6 squared, which is just 6.08 kilometers. So that's for part A. Then it says calculate the speed of each sailing boat. So it's nice to note here, now we can make the connection. If whenever a question wants the speed, and you're dealing with these worded problems, speed can be found by taking the magnitude of the direction vector. So that's what speed, this is where it shows up. So the direction vector for R is taking the coefficients and with the parameter t. So the direction vector is 2, -2. And the direction vector for P is 2 and 3. And then you just take the magnitude of each one, and that will represent the speed of each. So the speed for R will be just the magnitude of 2 and -2, which is equal to 2.83. And the magnitude for 2 and 3 will just be 3.61. Obviously, with the unit, you're dealing with kilometers per hour. For part C, it says find the coordinates where the courses meet. So that's another way of saying that the intersection point. So we will rewrite R And like you can do this in many different methods. I'm going to use this method. So for r, we have -1 plus 2t, and the y coordinate is 10 minus 2t. And for p, we have x is 0 plus 2s, and the y is 4 plus 3s. And you just go on simultaneous. So you can equate these with each other, equate these with each other. You'll end up with two equations and two unknowns. So you have one of the equations is 2t plus 3s equals to 6. And the other one is 2t minus 2s equals to 1. And when you solve it simultaneously, it will give you that s is equal to 1 and t is equal to 3 over 2. Now, we're not done. We just found at what point will the two courses meet. So remember, this represents a course, this represents another course. And if we just look at them plainly as courses, they will eventually meet up. And they will meet up if s is equal to 1 and t is 3 over 2. So when will they meet? You can directly substitute s equals to 1 and 2 into p and get the coordinates, or you can substitute 3 over 2 into r and get the coordinates. Obviously, substituting s equals to 1 is easier, and it will give us the coordinate 2, comma 7. So they will meet in this coordinate. And they're just asking for coordinates, so we're done with this question. And then it says, explain whether or not they will collide. And in this case, no, they will not, because only when P is at the first second, that's when it will get to the coordinate 2, comma 7. And when T is 3 over 2, that's when R will get to 2, comma 7. So they will both get to 2, comma 7. So this is when the courses will meet, but it's not when the boats will meet. It's when the path of their courses are meeting. So they will, you can say they will get to 7 at different times. Also because they have different speeds, that could be another reason. They have different speeds, so them reaching that coordinate will be different. So boat P will reach 2, comma 7 after 1 hour, and boat R will reach at 3 over 2 hours. So they will not meet at the same time. For this question, I'm just going to show the initial setup because the wording of this question is a bit weird, and it just takes a bit of imagination to understand what it is asking. So again, you can pause, read through the question, see what it expects. I'm going to explain it through a non-vector method, and again, you can see the solutions using a vector method. But the idea is that this is the route that Lucas is trying to get on, but because of a current that's perpendicular to this route, he needs to swim at a certain angle to get to that route peacefully. So assuming that he's on any of these locations here, he needs to swim at a certain angle so that he can directly get to this route here. So let's assume it's just a random line here. So let's say this is the route he gets to, and I want to know what angle does he need to swim at in order to get directly, that's the point here, directly to Praga. So we're not looking at, oh, he will get to the route and then continue traveling. No, we need a direct route from where he's starting. But also keeping in mind that there's a perpendicular current hitting that's 90 degrees to the root. So if I make this setup and I just assume that the current is here at the very beginning, because it is, that's when he sees the current also. Let me just make it darker. This is 90 degrees. We end up with a right angle triangle here that we can use easy trigonometry to solve. So this is the angle we're looking at. He's traveling at 1.8 meters per second, and the current is at 1.2 meters per second. So if I'm looking at the angle, I can just directly use any of the trig ratios, or more specifically, you can use the sine inverse and find the angle here, which will give you 41.8. So I'll just quickly go through the solution. Sine inverse of 1.2 over 1.8 will give you the angle needed, which is 41.8 degrees. That's the three significant figures. And then it tells you that the path itself, this path here, is 4.5 kilometers, so 4,500 meters. We're dealing in meters because of our distances. And then it's asking how long is it going to take? Well, if I take the same triangle, and this is 4,500, but the sum I know the angle, I can find the distance that Lucas is going to travel here using, again, Pythagoras. So using the cos ratio, and it's going to give me 6,036.4 meters. And then because I know this is the distance, and I know that his speed is 1.8, then I can use the speed distance time formula to find the time that this path is going to take, which is just going to be 6036.4 over 1.8, and that is 3,353.56. We're dealing with seconds here, so this converts to approximately 55 minutes and 54 seconds. So that's just a non-vector approach to this question. And then you can see here how they're explaining it in a more vector approach. There is a different visualization to the problem that you can use here, but I solved it in a different method. Example 3 is, again, we go back to more vectors and application. So as usual, pause the question, read it, try and do it, try and understand the extra bits of information. After 3 seconds, the second drone starts. So if I want to find the speed, again, as we said before, the speed is the magnitude of the direction vector. So the direction vector of L1 is -2, 4, and 7. And if I want the magnitude of L1, I'll just, we know the formula, just square root, and then take the square and the sum of all the numbers, which will give us 5.39. And that's the speed. We're dealing with meters per second. And then the same thing for L2. The direction vector is, oh, sorry, I swapped them around. The direction vector here is -2, 3, 4. And the direction vector for the second one is -2, 4, and 7. So the magnitude of L2, if we calculate it, is 8.31 meters per second. That's the speed. Then determine the distance between the two drones just before IDA's drone starts. So we're looking at when IDA's just in the beginning, so S is 0, but she starts after 3 seconds, which means RT is equal to 3. So by substituting these two directly, you will get 2 coordinates, and then you just find the distance between the two coordinates. So L1, when it's 3 seconds, is -4, 3, 12, and then L2 in the beginning, initially, when S is 0, is going to be -4, 2, 0, and then just finding the distance between those two by finding, using Pythagoras again, or in 3D is going to be 12 meters, or 12.0. That's the three significant figures. Now, it says the drones will collide. for how long was Irma's drone flying when they collide. So we will do, just as we did in example 1, we will assume that they will meet, and we will say, write the equations as in equate the components together. So we have two, I'll go through the detailed steps. Okay. So for L1, we have that x is equal to 2 minus 2t, and y is minus 3 plus 3t, and z is 4t. And for L2, we have that x is minus 4 minus 2s, and y is 2 plus 4s, and z is 7s. So this is actually nice because I have a easy components that I can deal with here. And before I start solving, I can merge them all together, solve simultaneous, and so on. Just have a look at the question. It says, how long was Irma's drone flying? So it would be good if I can solve in terms of Irma's perimeter, which is t. So if I can get everything in terms of t, that would then make everything easier. So by equating the components together, so if I look at this, I have 4t equals to 7s. So s is equal to 4 over 7t. And then I can use this and substitute wherever I need to, taking the x value is enough. And I have 2 minus 2t equals to minus 4 minus 2, 4 over 7t. Solving it around will give me that t is equal to 7. Okay, and you can confirm by substituting in here if you need to. So we've directly answered the question without having to actually find the coordinates in there. So how long was it flying when they collide? So we know that they meet at a certain point. We're solving it like it's simultaneous, but we're skipping through some of the steps. I know that they will meet when t equals to 7, and then there's another s value, but they didn't ask me to find it. If they ask me to find it, then I'll find s. And if they ask me when will they collide or find the coordinates, then I have to substitute t and s into the formulas to get the coordinates. But since they did not ask me, I can stop the simultaneous process at this point, so it would still be correct. So part D, if you feel like you want to complete part C even fuller, in a fuller sense, you can go ahead and find the coordinates. Part D says, find the altitude when the drones collide. I can substitute 7 into the equation, find the coordinates. Obviously, it will be the matching coordinates is if I found S. So this is, it will give you a coordinate. But because they're specifically asking for altitude, they're looking at the Z component or the Z coordinate. So directly just looking at my R equation and substituting 7 for T and only taking the Z component, you actually have 4 times 7, which is 28. You can directly substitute 7 into here, find the full coordinate, and then take the Z component, or just extract it from there. So it's just 28 meters here. Just to fix a quick typo, this was meant to be 6, and therefore the magnitude or the distance between them is slightly different, so it's 12.6 here, just to fix this issue. And that's it for the questions. You can have a look at the solutions here, and then you have this question also. You can pause, read through it, and this is the first part of the solution to example 4, and the second part of the solution to example 4.